Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So glad you're here. Get ready with me testing all new high-end products. So when I say new, I do mean new to me. I think most of these products have probably been out for an extended amount of time. But I'm not one to typically stay super current on the makeup trends. That's just not normally how I am. But I did have a gift card and I did splurge on some items that are definitely on the higher end price side. So if that's not something you're into, I'll probably talk about this as I go, but there's definitely some great affordable options out there. And so don't think seeing me use something that is more expensive means that like you have to have it and that a drugstore option isn't just as good, because there are just as good items. It's just fun sometimes to splurge on yourself. Okay, so first for our base, we do have the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Primer. One thing to know about me is I do try to only strictly buy items that are from brands that are cruelty-free. That's just something that is important to me. I think that you should remain to your own convictions, not to say that like everybody has to be the same. But I do think that that is important, and I think that animal welfare is important. So trying to do the best you can, I think, is important. Now, with that being said, I don't stay super educated as I probably should on like parent companies and things like that. I try to support brands from those parent companies that are specifically cruelty-free and vegan, if possible, to show that that's where the money should go to. As far as like when you start going up into more of that, unfortunately, I'm just not able to stay as up to date on current on things like that. I hope that makes sense. But spiel aside, this is the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Primer. I don't think I've tried anything from them before, and I have heard this writ and raved about, and I tried it in the store and it felt so nice on my hand that I was like, I have to try this, like, for real. And so the pump, it all seems like very nice. It's a glass bottle, and I'm just gonna, this is kind of like what it looks like just for reference. And I'm gonna try to not apply a ton of this just because like I don't really need it to do much since I'm not doing a ton today. It feels really good on the skin. It has a little bit of a scent, but not too strong. It is definitely hydrating. My skin is going through it right now. I'm so sorry. Just ignore that. I actually have been wearing makeup a lot more frequently than I used to, just because like, I think I talked about this a few videos ago, but I started working from home recently. I really like that. It's like, it feels smoothing. Also has like a little bit of like a grip to it, which I like in a primer. So far so good. This is hard to, it's gonna be hard to test without doing like a longevity test, which I don't know if I can do today. But all that to say, like I was saying, I started working from home recently, and it's actually the same. I still work for the same company. It's just like a temporary assignment that I get to do with like our corporate for 6 months, which is a really good opportunity for me, and I'm very thankful. But I was definitely nervous about it being from home because that's not something I've ever really done before. And I know I'm very fortunate to get to do that. I know not a lot of companies have that as an offering, so I don't mean to sound like ungrateful or anything. It's just I was nervous because I'm very much like a go, 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 like what's the next thing? Like I gotta be moving a lot. Okay, while I yap, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting on my foundation. I don't know how bright this is, if you can see. This is the Haus Labs by Lady Gaga foundation in light neutral. Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. My mother-in-law was over here over the weekend. Hi, Cindy, if you're watching. And she gave me a sample of this, and because I think she got like a few shades. Apparently on their site, you can order a sample of like 3 different shades for free. You do have to order the actual foundation within like, I think it's like what, 30 days or something like that, in order for it to stay free. If you don't end up doing that, it's like $9, which I still feel like it's not bad for you to be able to try it. I think you could get a couple of uses out of the little sample size. I do. Okay, I should use this first because this is expensive a little bit. This is what the little sample sizes look like, and I'm going to be using my shade in the little sample while I still have it because I might as well before using the big boy. But this is what it looks like. It's a glass bottle. It's like a frosted glass. You do have to, I mean, because it's a sample and it's literally like free and or $9, you have to just kind of like, I'm just gonna put that on my hand. and go in with my e.l.f. sponge. This is definitely not high-end, and I actually don't have any high-end like sponges or brushes really. I love the finish of this foundation. I did do a wear test on this. I'm gonna put it on half of my face so you can like see the coverage, and it's really light. Like I literally feel like I have no foundation on when I wear this. I'm sure if you used a brush, this would probably go a much longer way. It's just I don't prefer using brushes when I do my base products. That's just something I don't prefer. So that's with half of it on. Look how crazy of a difference that is. Isn't that wild? I really like it. The finish is nice and like not super glowy, but not super matte either. But what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about high-end versus drugstore. So some of my favorite drugstore brands, if you are interested in more makeup that's not super high-end, like this, which some of this is like I would say the difference between like Haus Labs and Fenty, then like Hourglass, YSL, Dior, and I don't really know what the name for that would be. I guess there's like high-end and there's like, I think it's called like prestige makeup, which I will not be ever really buying. I do have one Hourglass product in here. That's mainly because I have experience with it and I know it's good. I don't know if I could see myself buying something like and risking it if it was that expensive and I didn't know if I already liked it. The foundation off my lips. But finishing up what I was talking about working from home, it's been really great. I've really enjoyed my new role and contributing in the way that I do. Obviously, I don't really want to share exactly what I'm doing just for my privacy, but I'm really enjoying it and it's very fulfilling to me. And I feel like I've gotten pretty used to a good schedule, like regimen. I can easily see how it can be very lonely if you don't have people that you are regularly checking in with, or that you, like, obviously I live with my husband and I see him every day. And I do have like coworkers that I have calls with and things like that. And like, it very much fosters a good environment of like checking in with people. This is the Fenty Beauty concealer, the Hydrating Longwear Concealer. As you can see, I spent some time in the Fenty section. This is what the packaging looks like. This is plastic, but this is, again, not like the, I would say like the prestige makeup. This is like high-end makeup. Hopefully this shade works for me. You know, it's hard in the Sephora lights to know exactly if it's the right shade or not. This is what the applicator looks like. I always think it's interesting. This is like a right angle, which is kind of cool. That foundation up close, just kind of like the finish, what it looks like on its own. Oh, I think this is a good shade. I'm just gonna do, I feel like that's too much. Hard to say because I haven't used it yet, but I'm just gonna start with the under eyes and then go from there. I'm gonna make sure that this is not an insane amount. But anyways, all that to say, I'm having a good time. I have a good routine. Me and Lilo, my dog. Ooh. Ooh. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is my first time trying most of this. The only thing I've like actually tried is that foundation like one time, basically. Most of this is my first time. Ooh, that is really nice. Very brightening. I really like that. It's very lightweight. Like I don't really feel that at all on my skin, which is always a plus. I'm gonna just spot conceal around some of the places that I know I need it. Okay, so next we're going to go in with powder, and this is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Powder. Translucent setting powder. Yeah, Mineral Veil Powder. That's what it's called. I have tried this before, not in a long time. This one is something that I got a long time ago and really enjoyed and used it all. This is the packaging. It's very luxe looking and metal. I can't really actually tell. Not 100% sure. But we're gonna open this up and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. It's got like gold. It's got the little shape of the H for the sifter. But all I really wanted to say the rest of with that is just like to take care of yourself, no matter what you're doing. Work is work, and that's something I've had to really be mindful of, is like because I am very much a perfectionist and like a people pleaser, and that combined with corporate America is not a good look, not helpful. So setting boundaries in the workplace and just with your own mental health is very important. So as I learn to do that in my adult life, as I go on in my career path, I found that very valuable. So that's kind of the end of that conversation. Today is my husband Hunter's birthday. Everyone say happy birthday, Hunter. It will probably not be his birthday when this goes up because y'all know me and I have a hard time uploading right after I film something. So something I will say is irritating my eyes, and I don't know what it is, but they're a little red. Hard to say because literally everything is new, which I know you're not supposed to do so that you can tell if something's bothering you, but we don't really have time for that. I wanted to try everything all together. So I'm gonna go in with my sponge in this powder, and I'm really just gonna use this powder on the parts where I put the concealer. So I think I'm gonna put on the screen like my favorite drugstore options for makeup, like while I am doing this, because this is one where I feel like I have really good powder options that are not high-end, and this one is really nice, but I just don't know if it's worth $52. You know what I'm saying? And I know I don't mean to be a hater because, like, again, it's really nice, and I think the packaging's really nice and like all that, but is it better than my $5 Wet n Wild powder? Maybe not. Now that is us with the powder on, and mainly just underneath my eyes, my chin, my forehead is where we put that loose powder to set everything. I am gonna go in with my Essence powder that is pressed to kind of like, actually I might get some of that loose powder that's still here on my brush and just kind of like brush over some spots. While I have you, I might as well talk to you about my current reads, which are, our book club is currently reading A Ministry of Time by, I think it's Catherine Bradley. I'll pop it up on the screen just to be sure. That's what we're reading in our book club right now. If you don't know, I have a book club with my friends from work, and we typically choose, we have like a rotation where you choose, there's 4 of us and each person gets to choose 3 books from the year for each month. This was my choice, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this. This is the Essence Brighten Up powder, by the way, that I'm using. It's like a banana powder, but not like a super yellowy powder. And I'm just gonna go over and just double set like my eyelids, which usually have a tendency to crease no matter what products I'm using. And underneath my eye just to do a little bit more brightening. I'm really happy with this base so far. I feel like this light is making me look like super washed out, and it's not as bad as it looks, I promise. Next, we are gonna go in with some stuff that's not new to me, and it's my, well, should I actually think I'm gonna skip my, this is the liquid contour I've been loving from e.l.f. It's the Halo Glow Beauty Wand contour in the shade Light Medium. I'm gonna skip that so that I can fully see the new bronzer that I got in like action and make sure like it's actually good. But first, before we do that, we're gonna do liquid blush, which I'm very excited for. This is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Dewy Liquid Blush in the shade Joy. Now, hear me out. This is gonna look really bright, and it is, but my mother-in-law also helped me pick this out, and she loves a good bright blush, and I do too. I just have to be careful because this, I feel like, could go really horribly, really quickly if we don't use the right amount. So we're just gonna use a tiny bit. And how I like to do my liquid blush is I do like to use a sponge. I know a lot of people like to use a brush, and maybe one day I'll find one that works for me. But today's not that day. So we're just gonna do a little tiny bit on the cheeks, and then we're gonna set it with a different blush that's in powder form. This is not the first blush I've tried from this brand. This is the first time I've tried this color. Ooh, this is what the applicator looks like. Now these are definitely worth it. These are super pigmented. I think they're, oh God. Oh my God, I'm scared. Okay. These are incredibly pigmented and they are really high quality. And I think they're $22. I'll put it on the screen for sure. And a little bit goes a long way. Like, I don't ever foresee myself running out of these, like truly. Like, I don't know how I could. And look how easy they blend out. Like, yeah, it looks kind of crazy right now, but I feel like it'll get better if you just keep diffusing it. But I really enjoy all of the, I think I only have one other color from her. I've only tried the dewy one. She also makes matte ones too, which I would be willing to try, but I do prefer a dewy blush. Okay, so that is the blush diffused out. See, it doesn't look as crazy when you like blend it out. But I do think I'm gonna go in with the blush topper today, and that is going to be this little mini NARS blush. This, I know NARS is not cruelty free. This did come free with my purchase, so you use whatever filter you would like, if you would like to buy this or not. I'll again put some of my favorite blushes on the screen that I really love that are drugstore. But my current reads, yeah, Ministry of Time. Basically, it's like a sci-fi, like magical realism kind of vibe. Basically, you're in this like current day, but time travel exists. I really like this little cute packaging though. And it's like super tiny. I think that's kind of what the color looks like. I feel like this will kind of match the peach we're going for. My brushes are Alamar Cosmetics brushes. I've used these for years and they're really great. Ministry of Time, it's really cute so far. It's very dry, like funny sci-fi, where you're following our main character who works at this like Ministry of Time, and she doesn't really get clued into like the big like what is happening, like why is time travel, how and why does time travel exist, why are they doing this. But she gets assigned this guy who gets pulled from like 1850s, that era, and he was in the war and he died like on a mission, but they pull him before he passes away into the future, and basically they're like trying to acclimate him to current times, and she's like assigned to him as like his handler essentially. They're called like bridges. I fear that I like this. Okay, well, we're gonna diffuse that because that's a little much, but mainly we're just setting the liquid. But I actually felt like that was a pretty close color match. I like to just put a little bit long right here. So she's kind of like in charge of him and making sure he like acclimates well to the future for him. And it's funny to read because like obviously times are crazy different, and like not only are they physically different, like his environment where there's like electronics, there's like different restaurants, there's the city literally is different. They're in London. All of the technology, Spotify, like all music streaming, where he really likes music and he's like totally foreign to the concept of like streaming music. So that's obviously really entertaining to read, but what's even more interesting to me is like the social commentary when it comes to like where we were as a society when he was alive and then where they are then. Some of the similarities and some of the vast differences in the way that we treat people that are queer and people that are biracial or of different non-white races. And then also like climate change is something that comes up also. So all of that's really interesting. There's also some like religious references. He's like very religious and she is not. She is also a woman of color, and just the way that like women and men interacted then versus now. All of that's very interesting to me. And I'm interested to see where it continues to go. Right now I could see it's a little bit at like a lull and I need like something else to happen. This is the bronzer we're gonna be using today. It is also by Fenty. That is definitely what I bought the most of, I think. The packaging is so cute. It's like a rose gold, like reflective packaging. And this is what the, oh, that looks so pretty. This is what the shade looks like. And oh my gosh, I don't like messing it up. But we're also going in with my Alamar Cosmetics brush that I use for bronzer. So yeah, that's that book. I'm reading that physically. The other book that I'm reading physically is What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell, I think. and it's one of the kind of like Disney retellings that I really enjoy, like the what if kind of thing. And the whole thing with that is like, what if Rapunzel's mother drank from the wrong flower, which like the whole thing in the movie is that she drinks from like the sundrop flower or something, and instead of that she drinks from the moon flower. And instead of having like the magical abilities, if you're familiar with the tale / movie, of like being able to keep the people youthful with her hair, like if you know Mother Gothel, when she like does the hair, it like makes her age backwards kind of thing. Instead of that, she kills people with her hair, and that's interesting. What also is really interesting about this one that is different from any of the other like Disney what if books, it's called like Twisted Tales is the actual series. I like this actually, this shade. It's not, I'm not using it a lot, which is why it's not like insanely noticeable, but that's just how I prefer my bronzer. Different about this one as compared to other ones that I've read in this kind of like metaverse is you actually get chapters throughout that are you like how the story is being told. So it's actually really sad. It's this brother telling this story to his little sister who's in the hospital like receiving cancer treatment. And it's really sad because like he's kind of like, she loves Rapunzel and he's kind of telling her a different story like to entertain her because she's like having a hard time. So I'm really enjoying that so far. That's my other physical read. Okay, so the last thing that I put on off camera, because the last new thing that I put on off camera, because my phone was about to die, was this. This is the Rare Beauty Positively, oh my god, it's stuck in here. Positively Light Silky Touch Highlighter. And you can kind of see it on my face a little bit on both sides. That's what it looks like. It's really pretty, and I'm glad it kind of came to the rescue because I felt like things were looking pretty like matte on my face, and I do have dry skin, so I was a little concerned with how like matte everything was looking. But overall, I'm really happy with the way my makeup as a whole turned out. I feel like it looks really good. I also set it with my Morphe Continuous Mist setting spray. This is not new to me, but is one of my favorite setting sprays. This is what the Rare Beauty packaging looks like, and I think it's so cute and like old school looking, like very like 50s makeup kind of. And this is what it looks like. It looks like it would be liquid or soft, but it's not. It's like a baked powder finish. It's really nice, and the consistency is really, really good. And then I just put my regular Essence mascara on and my Essence Clear Brow Gel. And that's the look. I didn't want to do any eyeshadow because I really just wanted to focus on my new like base products today. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. One other thing that I wanted to mention was the audiobook I'm currently listening to, which is Immortal Dark by, I don't remember the author's name, unfortunately, but I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this audiobook so far. I actually just started it today. I'm already like 4 hours in. Basically, it's like a dark academia vampire novel, and I think it's the beginning of a series that just came out, but it's like dark academia. Like essentially there's these two twin sisters that were separated when they were young, and so it's kind of also a mystery of one of the sisters trying to find her other sister. They have like an estate that they've inherited. The vampire world is very interesting. They're also human, but they're part of a family where the way that this world works, only certain families can like vampires can only drink blood from certain families. And she's a part of this family. So she's kind of like on the run from vampires. But she ends up having to go to like a vampire academy because her aunt died, the last heir to the family like estate. So because of that, she has to go to the school in order to inherit her family's last will and testament, because she does have to learn about the vampire world in order to like inherit this estate. A lot of lore, a lot of deep stuff going on. That's kind of just like a general statement. I really like the writing so far. The characters are really interesting and the world is really interesting too. So I'll keep you updated as I go about that book and see what I think at the finish of it. But that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed me yapping and doing my makeup, all new makeup. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.